LeBron and Goliath. What do LeBron and Goliath have in common? What if I told you Goliath would have been just 1 inch taller than LeBron? I know most of you guys say, man, you're crazy. Goliath would make LeBron look like a kid. What if I can prove to you that Goliath was just 1 inch taller than LeBron? Then you have to reconsider what is a giant. I know some people think, oh, I do not see no 10-foot guys walking around. There's no giants. Some people actually do say that. But what if there was right in our face some of our coworkers walking around almost 7 foot tall? What if that's considered to be a giant and not the 10-foot or 15-foot guy that you think is a giant? Let's look at men and women that's around 6'6" and taller before I get into the evidence. They have problems just walking into a regular home door. They have problems shopping for clothes and shoes. They even have problems riding bikes and driving some cars. So we can clearly see that their height is not normal. It's not average, right? Let's look at LeBron next to an average sized man. An average sized man is around 5'10". And we see here LeBron standing next to him, who's 6'8", about almost a foot taller than this man. Imagine if they would have gotten a fight. This man looked like he'll have no chance whatsoever, right? So now let's get into the scriptures and see what the scripture says. So right now I'm at Bible Hub. And first version I'm going to go to is the NIV. And it says, a champion named Goliath, who was from Gath, came out of the Philistine camp. His height was 6 cubits and a span. Now, 6 cubits and a span is about 9'9", right? And I know you're saying, I know what some of you guys saying, man, 9'9", that's way taller than LeBron. That'll make LeBron look like a kid, right? Well, there's other versions that says different, but let's keep going. All right. So almost all of the modern version says the same thing. Here's New Living Translation. It says, then Goliath, a Philistine champion from Gath, came out of the Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. He was over 9 foot tall. All right. Let's go to KJV. And it says, and there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistine named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits in a span. Now, let's not forget 6 cubits in a span. 6 cubits in a span is 9'9". Now, we read that in the NIV as well. But now let's go to a version that's going to tell you exactly his height, where you can understand it. The Christian Standard Bible. Right? And it says, then a champion named Goliath from Gath came out of the Philistine camp. He was 9 foot 9 inches tall. So there you have it. 9 foot 9 inches tall, right? And I know where you're getting at. LeBron is not even close to his height. Well, here's what we need to understand. All the modern version of the Bible. We have the KJV, the Christian Standard Bible, the NIV, the New Living Translation. All the modern Bibles get their translation from the most of them get their translation from the Masoretic text, which is around 600 AD was written, right? We have older versions that says otherwise. So before I go into these older versions, let's just go and Google and let's see what Google says about this. Okay. How tall was Goliath? Just Google. Now look what it says. It says Goliath's stature as described in various ancient manuscripts. The oldest manuscripts, Dead Sea Scrolls, right? And Samuel, even Josephus speaks about his height. Look what it says. 4 cubits and a span, which would be 6'9". Just an inch taller than LeBron. See? Just an inch. So even Google giving you a correct and more accurate statement of how tall Goliath was. But now let's go into the Septuagint. Now this is BibleStudyTools.com, and you can put the option to look at the Septuagint version and look what it says. Now remember, we read from the KJV and NIV. It says 6 cubits in a span. Now look at the Septuagint version, and it says, and there went forth a mighty man out of the armies of the Philistine, Goliath by name, out of Gath. His height was 4 cubits and a span, which is 6'9". Just an inch taller than LeBron. And this is the Septuagint is more accurate than the Masoretic, which where we get most of our modern day translation, KJV, NIV versions of today. And I'll have some links in the description that will give you evidence to show how more accurate the Septuagint is than the Masoretic, which where we get our versions today. So look, so LeBron would be considered a giant and people around his height. Imagine LeBron being next to Goliath on that day David killed him. Everyone there would say, man, there's 2 giants. They wouldn't have just considered Goliath, who would have been next to LeBron if LeBron was there that day. So we may have giants among us. We do have giants among us. Our co-workers who is 6'6" and taller.